Disappear and become someone incredible. Let's cut to the chase. You're putting yourself out there way too much. Oversharing. Asking for advice from people who haven't built anything. And the worst part, waiting for approval from folks who can't even manage their own lives. It's time to get this straight. The more visible you are, the more vulnerable you become. And that's basically an open invitation to be doubted, criticized, sabotaged. Sometimes even by the people closest to you. No one ever told you this, but the most powerful transformation a person can go through happens in silence, in hiding, in the invisible. That's where true warriors are born. Not on the stage, in the backstage. While the world's busy talking, the ones who go far are quietly stepping away to build something so solid that when and if they show up again, the impact is undeniable. It might sound counterintuitive, I know. After all, we live in an age where, if you're not seen, you don't exist, right? Well, the ones who are always showing up aren't building anything that lasts. But the ones who disappear with purpose, in strategic silence, refining every part of themselves, they come back if they even choose to, unrecognizable, powerful, and deeply respected. In this video, you're not going to hear cliches. You're going to dive into a real, practical strategy that'll show you how to disappear the right way. How to transform your mind, your body, your life, and re-emerge, or not, as someone even you won't recognize. But heads up, this isn't for people looking for shortcuts. This is for those chasing real power, inner authority, and true growth. And if you're still here, get ready. Because this journey is going to push your comfort zone, flip your mindset upside down, and uncover truths that most people would rather avoid. But one thing's for sure, once it's over, you'll never be the same again. Shut up. Some people just talk too much and don't even realize it. Life becomes this open book, left wide open on a cafe table, just waiting to be read and judged by people who aren't even capable of writing their own story. The very first step to truly disappearing, the one that comes before any deep personal transformation, is simple. Shut your mouth. Literally. Strategic silence is pure gold. Every time you share your plans with someone who doesn't get you, you lose energy. It's like a piece of your motivation just evaporates into thin air. Only speak to those who truly matter. And even then, speak less. That's where discipline begins. Learning to keep things to yourself. Resisting that almost instinctive urge to tell someone about your new project, your new diet, that course you just started. You know that one friend who always says, "Cool, but do you think it'll work?" They don't need to know a thing. Working in the shadows takes a new kind of emotional control. Got a thought? Hold it. Feel like sharing? Take a breath and write it down in a notebook. A notebook doesn't judge you, just listens. What most people don't realize is that talking burns the same energy you need to take action. Every word wasted could have been a step taken. Say you're starting a business, instead of posting "big news coming soon" on Instagram. What if you use that time to study marketing, work on your brand, or dive into books like The One Thing or Steal Like an Artist? Silence creates room for action, and silent action is what leads to real, lasting results. And there's actually something beautiful about staying under the radar. In ghost mode, you learn to love quiet progress, the discipline of solitude, and the kind of mindset that doesn't need likes to feel valid. Disappearing with purpose isn't cowardice, it's strategy. And here's the thing. The quieter you become, the more you actually start to hear. You hear the world. You hear your fears. You hear what really matters. And in that silence, something begins to shift. That's when self-improvement truly starts to take shape. It's no longer about what others think. It's about what you commit to becoming. You stop being just another person talking and become someone who, in silence, is building something that's going to leave people speechless. But before any of that happens, there's one question you need to ask yourself. Are you really ready to hear only your own voice? Only your opinion matters. Here's the truth. A big part of your life has been shaped by an invisible stage. The need to be accepted. Since you were a kid, you were trained to seek approval. From your parents, your classmates, your teachers, your boss, and now, the internet. But here's the hard reality. No one thinks about you as much as you think they do. And that's exactly where your freedom begins. Real personal transformation hits a turning point. The day you decide that the only opinion that truly matters is your own. That's not arrogance. That's emotional independence. Mental reprogramming is the name of the game now. And no, this isn't some shallow self-help talk. It's a practical exercise in liberation. A simple example. You're scared to hit the gym because you think people might laugh at you? Then go with that fear in your pocket. Because growth happens the moment you face the judgment that exists only in your head. Every time you move forward despite feeling insecure, you're strengthening your self-trust like a muscle. Little by little, those outside voices get quieter, and yours gets louder. This new mindset takes practice. Start with something simple. Every day, write down one thing you did that made you proud. Can be small. Things like, I didn't give in to laziness. I ate healthy. I was honest with myself. That builds a new internal reference point. Because at the end of the day, real hidden progress doesn't show up in the mirror. It shows up in how you see yourself. And a strong mindset is built by the habit of validating yourself, even when no one else does. Think about the big names we admire. They didn't become great because everyone clapped. They became great because they took action when no one was watching. Steve Jobs got fired from his own company, mocked, called crazy, and he still kept going. Because he was driven by an internal vision, not external applause. That's what we call monk mode. When you disappear from the world stage and step behind the curtain of your own mind to rebuild your personal stage. And if you go deep enough on this journey, you'll notice something amazing. The fear of judgment fades away, just disappears. And when that happens, you become unstoppable. But there's a catch. You have to learn to protect your plans like they're your life. 'Cause what comes next? It's going to shake up your entire action strategy. Keep your plans to yourself. Have you ever noticed how just talking about your plans feels like a relief? Almost like your brain says, there, I said it, we're halfway there already. But you're not. Talking gives you a false sense of progress. It's like announcing you're going to run a marathon and thinking that alone earns you a break. When you share your goals too soon, you start getting applause for a harvest you haven't even planted yet. Ghost mode is all about strategic silence. Not out of secrecy, but as a weapon. If you're thinking of changing careers, starting a business, getting back to the gym, or rebuilding your life, keep it to yourself. Your plans are like seeds. They need darkness to grow. Overexposure kills the process. Every time you talk about what you're going to do, before you've done it, you give away a piece of your power. Remember, the real transformation happens in the shadows. While others are busy talking, you're out there doing. And when it's all said and done, the quiet doers leave the loudest impact. Want a real-world example? Imagine you're building a digital project, a channel, an ebook, a brand. Instead of posting "something big is coming" or asking everyone for their opinion, start small, structured, and invisible. Read The Power of Habit, learn the basics of branding, marketing, and traffic. And when you launch with a finished product. Results impress. Promises create expectations. And disappointed expectations come at a high cost. Keeping your mouth shut is easy compared to resisting the need for validation. Because hiding your plans goes against a deep human instinct, the need to belong. But great strategists know this. Overly visible goals attract distractions. Want to protect your energy? Make journaling a habit. Instead of telling people, write it all down. Your ideas, your fears, your strategies. A notebook won't judge you, won't interrupt, won't sabotage. Just keeps your thoughts safe while you take action. And the best part is what happens after. When you stay quiet, protect your vision, and take action, progress starts to show. But then comes the next challenge. Resisting the urge to show off that progress to the world. Because the next stage of the journey, it's even more delicate and even more powerful. Hide your progress. Progress is tempting. When the changes start to show, in the mirror, in your bank account, in the way people talk to you, the urge to show it off is almost irresistible. After all, who doesn't love a compliment? Oh wow, you've really changed. But here's a truth nobody really talks about. Showing progress too soon is like picking fruit before it's ripe. It might look ready on the outside, but inside it's still not there. And when you expose what's still in the making, you risk weakening your own transformation. In monk mode, it's all about consistency in the unseen. That kind of discipline no one claps for. You've been waking up earlier, training daily, studying hard. Great, keep going. But you don't need to post it. You don't need to tell anyone. Because there's power in mystery. There's authority in strategic silence. And the more invisible your effort is, the deeper your impact will be. That's hidden progress. Growing quietly, like a tree digging its roots deep before showing a single fruit. Want a real example? Let's say you've started eating healthier, and after just 2 weeks, you're already seeing results. Most people would rush to post a before and after. But what if you kept it to yourself for 3 months? Focused on learning new recipes, red wheat belly, built a proper nutrition plan with a dietitian. No applause needed. And when you finally show up, if you even decide to, people won't recognize you. And that's not just physical. It's symbolic. You're not who you used to be, inside or out. The same logic applies to business, finances, and skills. Want to get wealthy? Talk less, study more. Read Rich Dad Poor Dad, learn about real estate funds, stocks, build a monthly budget. But don't speak on it until your numbers speak for you. Want to learn a new skill? Take the course, practice, make mistakes in private, get better. All in the dark. Because the kind of growth that happens away from the spotlight grows stronger, purer, and more real. And when you finally reap the rewards, if you even decide to do that in public, you'll realize there's something even more powerful than hiding your progress. Learning to hide the pain that built that progress. Because it's in that quiet suffering that real evolution is born. Hide your pain. There's a kind of pain no one sees. And it builds more strength than any applause ever could. It's the quiet pain of someone who chooses to grow, even while bleeding. When you commit to real self-improvement, you're going to face long nights, invisible failures, tears that no one wipes away. And guess what? That's part of the deal. In ghost mode, you learn to cry without an audience. Because it's there, in the silence behind the scenes, that real resilience is built. One brick at a time. You'll want to vent. That's natural. But be careful who you share your struggles with. Not everyone wants to see you back on your feet. Some people are just waiting for you to fall so they can feel validated for doubting you. That's why you need to learn to be your own support system. Feel the pain, yes, but turn it into action. Instead of telling the world you're tired, go train tired. Instead of complaining about lack of results, refine your strategy. Read The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F*** and realize, pain isn't your enemy, it's fuel. Monk mode is made of silent inner battles. It's about tough decisions made in the dark, without guarantees. It's getting out of bed on a Sunday morning even when you don't feel like it. It's pushing forward when no one's watching. And along the way you're going to fail. You'll get frustrated. You'll want to scream. But if you can hold it in and keep moving, you'll turn every drop of sweat into raw strength. Silent suffering becomes the steel that reinforces your foundation. Want a practical way to handle this? Create rituals. Personal ones. A notebook to pour your thoughts into when you don't feel like talking. A quiet space just for you to think and reset. A cold shower to remind you that you're still in control. Do this over and over and you'll see, you don't need outside comfort anymore. Because you'll become the kind of person who finds purpose even in failure. The kind of person who feels pain but doesn't give in to it, transforms it. And one day, when you least expect it, that pain will have shaped something inside you that no one can take away. A strong mindset. An unshakable spirit. And that's when you'll be ready for the next phase, where your targets are crystal clear, and growth becomes part of your daily rhythm. Set your targets. Every real personal transformation starts with one clear decision. Who exactly do you want to become? There's no point in disappearing if you don't know who you plan to be when you come out of the shadows. Self-improvement needs direction. You can't just hit the road without knowing where it's going. So stop everything and ask yourself, what area of your life needs the most work right now? Your body, your mind, your finances, your skills. Be specific. People who want to improve their life, without a clear target, usually just end up going in circles. Grab a notebook or your favorite notes app and write down your targets clearly. Don't write, "I want to be healthier." Say, "I want to lose 10 kilograms by December, training 5 times a week and eating real food." That's direction. It's measurable, tangible, achievable. Discipline starts there. And trust me, you're going to need clearly defined goals if you want this hidden progress to turn into a lifestyle, not just a phase. In ghost mode, precision is everything. If you're working in the shadows, you can't afford to waste energy on vague dreams. So once you've written your goals down, break them into parts. If your plan is to build a digital business, what do you need to master? Copywriting, marketing, product development. Set time aside to study traffic and conversion, start with free courses, and build your arsenal step by step. Every small move is an arrow shot toward your target. And remember this: don't confuse desire with commitment. Desire is what you want. Commitment is what you do every single day to get there. That's why you should set your goals like you're drawing up a battle map, a plan to conquer yourself. Transformation begins when you can look straight ahead and say, "That's what I want, and nothing's going to stop me." When you get to that point, your focus becomes a weapon, and your life becomes a project. But setting goals alone isn't enough. A target without a routine is just a pretty wish. The real magic starts when your whole life begins to revolve around those goals. Because the next level doesn't just need intention, it needs strategic obsession. Build your life around success. Here's a truth most people don't want to hear. Either you shape your life around your goals, or your goals get crushed by the chaos of everyday life. There's no in-between. Real personal growth demands full priority. You want change? Then everything needs to revolve around that. Your routine, your environment, your friendships, your habits. All of it. You're building something big in the shadows. You can't cling to old patterns and expect new results. Start with your time. If it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist. Block time for training, studying, creating. Use the Pomodoro technique or time blocking, a method even high performers like Elon Musk rely on. Build a routine that serves your goal. Want to learn how to code? Set aside at least 1 hour a day to study Python, HTML, or algorithm logic. Use platforms like Alura, Udemy, Free Code Camp. Daily invisible effort beats random bursts of motivation every time. Next, organize your space. The environment you live in should serve your focus, not sabotage it. Want to transform your body? Live close to the gym. Train consistently. Read The Body Speaks to understand your physical discipline better. Want to start a business? Create a mental office at home, even if it's just a corner of your kitchen table. Cut distractions, activate intention. Because where there's no clarity, procrastination takes over. And you're not here to play games with your future. And one more thing. Stop surrounding yourself with people living on autopilot. Success is contagious, but so is failure. Choose your influences with surgical precision. Follow people who inspire you. Listen to motivational content on your commute. Swap Netflix for TED Talks. Swap gossip for books like The Miracle Morning. Live like someone who's already decided to win. Focused people live differently. They talk less, do more. They don't care about excuses. Only execution. And it's by living this way, with intention in every detail, that monk mode starts to take root. But it takes more than just external routines. It takes internal transformation. Because the truth is, building your life around success is only the beginning. What'll keep you going is when you reprogram your mind to love the process, even when it hurts. Reprogram your mind. The mind is the blueprint. Nothing changes on the outside until it's been broken down and rebuilt on the inside. When we talk about personal transformation, we're not just talking about building new habits, we're talking about building a new version of you. And that starts with how you think. Want to truly live in ghost mode? Then you need to reprogram your mind to love what most people run from. Silence, quiet pain, discomfort, solitude. Because those are the elements that shape a new mental standard. First, it'll feel weird. You'll feel out of place. Old pleasures will start calling you back. The notifications, the meaningless hangouts, the comfort of being average. But that's the challenge. beating your old self through small daily wins. For example, instead of always chasing motivation, you start acting based on principles. You replace "I don't feel like it" with "this needs to get done." Simple, direct. That's how people with strong minds operate. Want to speed up that process? Feed your mind with the kind of fuel that sparks change. Read Mindset by Carol Dweck. Listen to podcasts by people like Tiago Brunet or Flavio Augusto. They don't just share knowledge. They make you uncomfortable in a good way. The kind of discomfort that makes you get up and act. Watch movies like The Pursuit of Happiness or documentaries like Jiro Dreams of Sushi. They show the power of quiet effort and solitary discipline. Reprogramming your mind also means learning how to deal with failure all over again. Realizing that every fall is a lesson. That every wall you hit isn't a dead end. It's just a turn. When you stop blaming yourself for mistakes and start analyzing them like an engineer studying a blueprint, that's when you begin to change. Slowly, what used to knock you down starts to teach you. And you start to enjoy it. The growth, the adjustments, the slow carving of yourself like a sculptor shaping raw marble. And then, something amazing happens. Disappearing stops being a struggle. It becomes a lifestyle. You fall in love with hidden progress, with monk mode, with a feeling of evolving without needing to prove anything to anyone. And that's when a new question starts to echo in your mind. Does coming back even matter anymore? To reappear or not? There comes a point in the journey when the question, "When am I going to show all of this?" starts to fade. The urge to come back, to prove something, to throw your progress in the world's face. It just disappears. You look back and realize you've become someone new. Not just because you evolved, but because disappearing set you free. Ghost mode isn't a phase anymore, it's home. Quiet, powerful, comfortable. And reappearing stops being a need and becomes a choice. You've built so much self-confidence in the dark that you no longer need anyone else's spotlight. The self-growth you experienced in silence is now part of your identity. You move quietly but with power. You grow in secret but with structure. And you realize there's no applause louder than falling asleep at peace with who you're becoming. The deepest kind of respect is the one you feel for yourself, when you're not trying to impress anyone. The discipline you've built has shown you the power of living under the radar. Without chasing outside approval, you find something rare: mental freedom. And that changes everything. The way you communicate shifts. Your presence changes. Your energy starts to speak for itself. And people will notice. They'll feel it. But you won't be waiting for that recognition, because you'll already be on your next mission. A new goal. A new cycle. Want an example? Many successful entrepreneurs disappeared for 1, 2, even 5 years before launching a project that seemed to come out of nowhere. But nothing comes out of nowhere. They were just too busy growing to explain. And you can do the same. Whether it's with your health, your spiritual life, your relationships, or your finances. Strategic silence is still one of the most underrated weapons of growth. Because what's not seen doesn't get attacked. And what's not exposed grows stronger in peace. And that's how you reach a new level. With a reprogrammed mind, clear goals, and a body forged through silent pain. But no, this isn't the end. Because if you've really understood this process, then you already know the journey never truly ends. That's why now is the time to look at everything you've been through, and decide what to do with the power you now carry. Now that you know the path, the question is simple. Are you going to keep explaining yourself, or are you finally going to start building? Because watching, agreeing, getting inspired means nothing without action. Personal transformation doesn't come from promises. It comes from attitude. So what's it going to be? Will you disappear? Or will you keep putting yourself out there, hoping for applause that never comes? Close your eyes and imagine yourself 6 months from now. What do you want to see in the mirror? Someone tired of trying to please others, or someone quiet, focused, and in constant evolution? The truth is, the world doesn't need to know what you're doing. You need to know why you're doing it. And if you've truly understood everything we've covered here, then you're already ahead of 90% of people living on autopilot. So tell me, in what area of your life do you need to disappear now to come back stronger later? Drop it in the comments. Let's build a space for strong mindsets. No whining, no victim talk. Just people committed to their own hidden progress. And if this content made sense to you, if it flipped a switch inside you, subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell. Because here we go deep into the things most people are too afraid to talk about. The journey's just beginning. And in the next video, we're diving even deeper into your hidden potential. Ghost mode activated. Until then, disappear with purpose.